students sit to learn? Well, is it going to be a boarding facility? Where will they be sleeping? How many teachers are we going to take to? Because we are going to increase the numbers. We are going, what is the library position? The teaching and learning aids. All this require money. That is why the World Bank, in its assessment of this country, the IMF, in its assessment of this country, said as one of the key indicators of whether or not we're going to perform, where we're going to come out of our distress position, was to review the senior high school policy. So government had committed itself to reviewing that. But you see, this government is not allergic to review. the word review. So review, when the word was spoken of earlier on, it was equilibrated to cancellation. And so when the World Bank, the IMF said, "Oh, review the policy," so we don't want to review the policy. We are going to Parliament to lock it in. But it's a fallacy. I mean, you just need numbers to be able to change whatever.
One area, with regard to the free education, as I said, the free education is a good idea. But I don't know whether people have taken their time to look at the implication even on the parents and guardian. I have 2 kids in the second cycle school, name school. When they were going to school, yes, you pay nothing for that, let's admit, okay? But you see, the PTA of that much, the school has introduced certain facilities that you need to attach to it. You need to buy brooms, okay? Shovel, what do you call it? A rake, hoe, cutlass, okay? Where my kids are, there are almost 2,000 in the school, 2,000 kids for the first year, almost 2,000. Now, so I was asking myself, each child, I have twins, so I have to buy everything in pairs. Okay, would you believe even the prospectors are about 2? Would you believe this? Yeah, that's how it is. Now, these things, ask myself, if the 3rd year students are there, the 2nd years are there, the first years are also coming, they are 2,000. Assuming these are 1.5, that is about 3,000 already in there, plus my kids, that's about 5,000 kids. So are you telling me that we should have about 5,000 hoes in the school? Hoes and cutlasses. Because each child is supposed to bring that 1,000. I don't know whether we've not thought of this. Every school, every child of school going age. Look, I was surprised when we were going to school. When I was taking them to school, I said we were going somewhere. Cutlasses, hose, rakes, ceiling brush, name them. So I was asking one of the teachers, why do you keep these things? Do they have a storage facility for these things? This year, the student who went to school from 1, say, you buy. So naturally, do you have a storeroom to be keeping these things? And next year, they keep on doing it, and nobody has thought of that. This is a burden. Look, those components, if you are to buy, it far exceeds how much even you were to have paid for, probably for school fees.
There's research showing that.
That is true.
Showing that parents contribute significantly.
Very. Very. Because I'm a victim. I have been in it, and I know how it is, and I'm still in it. So it's interesting. Right.
Let me do a few messages from our viewers. This one is saying that they sell them. They've been selling. They've been selling the hose and then the calculators.
Where do they keep them?
Good morning. The cost of food is getting higher every day, while the Agric Minister is fighting to buy government hotel. Thank you. Interesting. You didn't tell me your name. Good morning, Bless. We are told inflation has dropped. Has the meaning of inflation changed when prices of goods and services are skyrocketing? This is exactly the true reflection of the Ghanaian economy. Not the bogus imaginary personal fixation of figures touted around as inflation rate. The incompetence of Nana Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia has gotten to its peak. God save us from this corrupt and reckless government of MPP. Kudos to Honorable Alhaji Yusuf Hussein from Buhari, Bukuru Sung, Tamale Central. Thank you so much for your message. Alhaji Hamza says, good morning, my brother. The majority in Parliament, and for that matter, is not serious at all. We are being told by the majority leader that by next week, there's going to be a free SHS bill to be introduced to Parliament to serve as a bill on successive governments to come. Nobody is challenging the legality of the free SHS, but it is rather the implementation which is the problem. As we speak, where is the policy document of the free SHS? The MPP is only trying hard to play politics with the free SHS. We should rather review the policy to make it better. Already this government has agreed with the IMF to review the policy. So what are they talking about? Thank you so much, Alaji Hamza from Pig Farm, with this message. Mystic Wanda says, instead of the insensitive, corrupt, disastrous Nanado Bawumia-led government to think about the good people of Ghana and the next generation, they're rather thinking about the next election. Never again to this wicked nation wreckers. Thank you so much. Bless, the president and the MPP are setting a trap for the NDC going into election 2024 by this vile attempt to commit future governments to an MPP version of what's already a constitutional requirement. Just like Kufuor did with single spine salary structure. They know they are going to lose the election, so they want NDC in parliament to appear to oppose the continuation of free SHS, and which opposition will evoke the people's anger. NDC shall prevail. Good morning to you and your panel. Thank you so much, Mystic Wanda, for your message. Bawumia is not someone to be trusted. Is he not the one who said when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will betray you? Why has he run away from podium to discuss economic issues to dancing halls to be given the steer? He has been exposed big time, so he should spare us our ears. John Dramani Mahama is the savior Ghanaians are looking up to. Nana Kakari from Techiman. Thank you, Nana Kakari, for your message. Okay. Good morning, Bless, and your panel. The bill by the MPP on the free SHS is just to make it look like, or for it to go down in history, that they in the MPP under the presidency of Nana Akufo-Addo spearheaded or brought free SHS for the whole and cutlasses they've been selling to them. Because I see, I saw, this one here says, I saw my hoe and my cutlass in the market with my name boldly written on it when I was in SHS. Ameshi Dixon. Okay, thank you, Ameshi. Finally, our streaming is back on, so we are live on Facebook. Those of you who cannot watch from your televisions at home, alternatively, you can do that on your television sets. And of course, like, comment, share, so that others can also join in the conversation. And also, do want to continue sending your message. I'll be more than glad to hear from you. Let me read this final one. Bless, this is my first time of messaging you. I have cause to be jittery about our justice jurisprudence because if Godfrey Dame, the Attorney General, is caught on tape suborning an accused person in the case is persecuting, not prosecuting, and is advised by the trial judge to recuse himself but refuses, then I'm afraid of the outcome of this case. Akufo-Addo has emasculated and made all state institutions his lapdog, so justice is difficult to come by except you are an MPP member or sympathizer. Let's remember that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Abraham Lincoln, Akufo-Addo and his bunch of criminals and thieves should remember that the day of reckoning and accountability is looming. When Akufo-Addo was vilifying and lampooning H.E. John Mahama 3 days ago, the chief injustice and the president of the Ghana Bar Association were giggling, but power is transient and ephemeral. Good morning to you and your panelists. Charles Echampon, thank you so much for your message, Charles. Let's proceed to other conversations. Let's look at the fact that government is, the roads ministry for that matter, wants to bring back road tolls. Are we disappointed with the sort of dividends that has been accrued from the much touted e-levy to the very extent that would have to bring back the tolls? And the roads minister, Asensu Boachi, he said he does not know any serious country in this world where road tolls are not taken. So road tolls are taken everywhere. And so he feels it is high time we introduced road tolls. What does the NDC think about this situation now, especially when I think it was in the 2022 budget, in 2021, when this was there, the e-levy was there, and it was because of the e-levy that road tolls were abolished across the country. And the justification for that was that there was a lot of traffic at the road tolls. And so immediately, let's just do away with it. And the following day, the Ministry of Roads and Highways came up with an apology of a press statement trying to justify that directive. Honorable.
Well, I think that we're living in a confused country. And we are being led by confused politicians. And so when they speak at cross purposes. Because I remember that at the time that my successor, Amakwata, spoke on the need to remove the road tolls, the current road minister was the minister for Works and Houses. Both he and the minister, the road minister, were members of parliament. And members of parliament, and also members of cabinet. The decision to remove road tolls was a decision of cabinet. I suspect that it was a decision of cabinet. That's how it found its way into the budget statement read by the finance minister on behalf of the president. I don't know, maybe on that day that the road tolls issue was being discussed, Asasibuachi was absent from cabinet. Or when the debates surrounding the whether or not to remove road tolls, Asasibuachi did not participate. Because if he did, he would have told this government, the Nana Akufo-Addo's government, that no serious country can afford not to collect road tolls. He would have told them. And it's true, no serious country. You see, road infrastructure is an investment. So all countries, above all, extending the road infrastructure investment, we want to recoup that investment. You don't just throw money away. So that's why when we build a port, we charge at the port. Because we have to recoup the investment. So when you build road, you have sunk a lot of money into the building of the road. It doesn't just go. It will aid in moving pregnant women to the hospital, bringing goods and services and all those. It will aid. But the underlying economic imperative is easing trade by recovering your investment. It takes because a social investment, it takes a very long time to recover. But recover, you must. Now, China is said to be a communist country. But I'm yet to see a country in the world that takes road tolls more than China. So, you see, when in the road tolls, sometimes I don't want speaking about it because I do not just simply understand what thinking went into the cancellation of road tolls, if not for populist reasons. Since 1963, when the motorway was built and tolled, Ghana has not recorded one incident of people demonstrating against the payment of road tolls. So why will you remove something that the people have accepted? Nobody complained of payment. What they complained was the road. That when they pay the tolls, it will fix the road. But not the payment. In fact, even before you meet confused politicians, that's what happens. Even before the removal of the road tolls, the former Minister for Roads, Mr. Abakwata, had come to Parliament to argue for an increment in the payment of in the tolls. I supported it. I was not in Parliament, but I supported it. I spoke outside in support of the increment because I know how much Ghana has invested in roads. More than $3 billion has been invested in roads in this country. We must find a way to get that money back and use it to invest in the development of new roads. Then, Finance Minister says he wants to take money from our pockets. So he's going to bring levy. That you continue to pay taxes until you no longer are using mobile money applications. So, and he had estimated that to bring in a lot of money. And as a trade-off, they didn't find anywhere to not to trade off. They decided that they would remove road tolls. And you know the ridiculous argument they made, it was not bringing in enough. Today, Ghana government owes contractors more than 15 billion Ghana cedis. Now, so $1 billion.
Yeah,
$1 billion. Ghana government. If you were collecting the road tolls, wouldn't you go some way to reduce the debt? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Worst of it all, the minister had announced that in the new budget, Ghanaians will be excused, will be exempted from the payment of road tolls. In the budget that was still operational, road tolls had been accounted for. The budget was read in November, around 7th of November. On the 8th of November or thereabouts, the minister, by his own fiat, and law unto himself, issued a letter amending the law on road tolls. And you see, when such a minister is finally hauled before an accountable institution, you say it's political persecution. He himself, the money that we were supposed to accumulate between that time was lost to the state because it had already been budgeted for. When it was his explanation, traffic was accumulating at the toll stations, the toll booth, and his panacea was removing it. But something, technology has come to the extent that, look, in South Africa,
South Africa, yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Like our Nkrumah Circle Bridge, you don't find a toll booth, but you find devices,
electronic devices,
on the street lights.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you use the bridge, you pay.
Yeah, that's true. In South Africa, that's true. Very true.
you don't need tools.
Very true.
So there is that technology. You have road tolls. The minister says it's causing traffic. Remove them. You can have a number plate and embedded chips. Any person who drives through that automatically deducts.
Sure.
If the money is not there, it sends a signal to the DVLA because at the end of the year you do what? You renew. And so when you go, they tell you that, well, you have got this amount pending. You have to pay before you renew. We ignored all that and looked for cheap populist solutions. And now, as Asibachi has passed a damning verdict on this government, it says that they were very, very insensible to have removed, I don't say insensible, unsensible to remove road tolls. I think that clearly, I have said that in Tree, when we used to play, we used to play. I don't know where you were as a boy. You did that. Pilolo. Do you know Pilolo?
Yeah, okay. Oh, you did
Pilolo. Give Pilolo.
That's like hide and seek.
Hide and seek.
Yeah.
So catch me if you can. That is a catch me if you can. So after this government, it's a Pilolo government. You catch it if you can. If you can't, it goes. That's all.
Right.
Yeah, bless. Thank you very much.
I think Alaji has digested the whole issue, but let me top up a little. He has been in the sector and naturally knows better. In 2021, I was in the US when I heard of this toll issue. I said, but what went into this decision? Luckily enough, I had a friend who was the area manager of a highway in Sunyani.
Yeah, okay.
He was my mate. And I asked him, I called him, what is going on? Jack Alaji says, oh, the money that comes out of that sector is, nothing right to write home about.
Infinitesimal, yeah.
That's what he said. I agree. Okay? But half a loaf is better than none. If you agree with me. Yes, it's less, we agree. Look at the haulages from Burkina Faso, from other. Have you noticed the haulage that passes through our toll booths?
Thank you, Mr. Santi.
From Tema to Paga. Do you know the number of toll booths that are we rushed now? So, as Alaji rightly pointed, at the end of the day, we have done a 360-degree cost zero. What are we seeing that we are bringing it back? What has Asensu seen to bring it back? I think we should have let it stay forever. Because you said that, we've said a flimsy excuse, that traffic is congested. So let's do away with it. Oh my goodness, how many vehicles do we have in Ghana here? Ghana, how many cars are in this country? I wonder it will be even up to 2 million vehicles in the whole system. Check from DVLA. I don't think we have even 2 million vehicles in this country. You go to other nations, you see, look, how much of vehicles, yet they are taking taxes. And as I have never seen such a scenario before. The people are not complaining. Motorists are not complaining. Yet we say, let us take them out. For instance, I don't know whether it was the government that introduced the private sector initiative in that. I think you did something of that nature, the private sector. Because it was under the Roads and Highway who were collecting the.
Yeah, so no, because they were not accounting.
Excellent.
They were not accounting. So they signed a contract with the private sector. Let them collect and
absolutely.
Contract.
Yeah. Which was very perfect. They gave them a quota.
Yeah.
Okay, after surveying the do's and don'ts, that maybe I will need at the end of the month, I will need X amount from you. Being a private man, he will never allow anybody to take a dime. Supervision will be very great. And that was a very good initiative. I don't know what that thing, where it went, whether it's still existent or not, I don't know. Probably it might be due to political inclination. People will have their different reasons. Let's raise this money for the party A. I mean, these are some of the dangers. Other than that, bless, what justification can the then minister give to Ghanaians that these are the reasons why we took them off? Look at I'm sorry to say, look at the hellish situation Ghanaians are going through. Okay? Now, you introduce the VAT. What do you call it? You introduce the e-levy. I don't have a problem. Initially, was it not 1% or so? There was a benchmark. Those who fell below the 100 Ghana cedis a day were exempted, if you recall. Yeah. Now they then made a U-turn and made it flat rate for everybody. So what kind of policy is it that we always try to do an ad hoc that never yields nothing? Frankly speaking, I personally have not been happy about this development, especially so far this government. I was a deep critic of the then government, of the NDC. A first-class critic. I was the vice chairman of AFAC, Alliance for Accountable Governance. Yes, of course. Myself, AFAC, I was the vice chairman. We gave the then government hell. When Dr. Friye was the chairman, I was the vice. Samir Okudems and co. We gave hell to Professor Wilson Mahama. 24/7 we were always on their neck. So I asked my colleagues, what has changed? All right? Now, we were giving hellish situation to these people. Today, what has changed? Nothing extraordinary. But why are we mute? Why are we quiet? Okay? And nobody's responding to me. So I asked them, what then is the name of our abbreviation? Alliance for Accountable Governance. We were talking of governance. We were not talking of a particular party. And I make this comment and I become an enemy of development. You see, these are some of the because how do you call it? These pressure groups, okay? They make society. And if you put it up yourself that you're a pressure group, you're going to do this. Let's do to the latter, irrespective of whoever is in power. Okay, I recall when we did the Wayomi case. When the issue of Wayomi, I led that demonstration. Made it hell for the then government. attributed the hardship to certain caliber of people who we assume might have. That was $35 million then. $35 million. The whole world came, the whole country came on its agog. Oh, well, you know, today, I just don't know how much money have gone waste. I just don't know how much money have gone waste. And nobody's talking about it. So until we realize that these issues, my final point, I would like to ask Asenso. The e-levy came as a sort of replacement for the tools. Am I right or wrong, Alaji? I think I'm right. So in a way. Go. So now, if they reintroduce the road tolls, are they going to do away with the e-levies? I don't know if I'm making logical argument. Because you brought the e-levy and took away the tools, okay, to make up for the shortfalls. Now you are bringing back the e-levy. Is it going to be incommensurate with the e-levy, or that is going to go off? Or they are now going to went in tangent, which means instead of salvaging us, you've come to add more burden to our burden. It's going to be two. E-levy plus tolls. You get it. So naturally. Look, it's about time Ghanaians should sit up. We need to sit up. I don't know what this government of the day, where they want to take the country to. If care is not taken, and you were in parliament, one thing that I also would like to appeal to the citizens or to the government is that, look, when I was coming along the road, I see children, parents and their kids walking to school. All right? Some parents got up as early as 4 o'clock. You see kids. When I'm going to the mosque, I see children around 4:30. You see children and their parents walking to school. And then the sector ministers, for the privileged ones, in the morning be in palanquins, SUVs. I don't think any advanced nation, they don't do that. The interest of the children is very paramount. A child must go to school. There must be buses available for the children to get them to school, because they are the future leaders. But here is vice versa. Probably because I never got the privilege to be there, so I'll be talking this way. But naturally, we need to look at those concepts.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, in fact, democracies are consolidated not by the executive or by the legislature or by the judiciary, because they can also be compromised, but by civil society.
That's it.
Now, what Mr. Asante said set me thinking. So the name AFAC is not empty.
No, it shouldn't be. It's not. It was a culmination of political. I was there, Kabila was there, any other way.
Yes. So it's just unfortunate that those who had that idea were largely sympathetic to the MPP.
That's the point.
But the name itself, Forum for Accountable
Governance, not government, governance in the whole concept.
So it's even more relevant today than then.
Yep.
You see, so again,
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Because you see, again, there are many issues today that you can clearly hold this government accountable.
Sure.
The Auditor General's report on the utilization of the COVID funds. Clear case. The Auditor General has said the funds were misused. Now, there's evidence to that. That is what, so a forum for accountable government, which is not the subject matter for discussion, must be holding government and officers who misuse the money accountable.
Very true. Very true.
Today, look at what is happening.
I raised this issue on our platform, and none of them, nobody, Governor Dami was our member. Would you believe it?
I see.
Dami was a member of AFA. Believe me, Titus Gola was a member of AFA. I'm telling you the gospel truth. Dr. Free Ayu, he was the chairman. Samia Uku was a member. Current Deputy Minister for Finance, Stephen Amwa, was a member.
Staker, I see.
Believe you me, I'm telling you, I am the vice chairman, and I'm telling you on authority. And I raised the issue, nobody they don't even respond to me. So I keep asking, did we come into force to attack a particular government, or we had a social responsibility?
Social responsibility. In fact, a civic responsibility.
In fact,
Anyway.
some of us need to revamp it. Believe you me. We need to revamp it and put government on these tools. In particular, every government must be on these tools.
Right. Let me read a few messages. Eric Nutako in Ejisu says it is worthy of note how people are passionate about the relevance and collective benefit of road tolls and its proper deployment. This indicates that if citizens know what their taxes are used for, they would more readily comply. It was very naive to replace the tolls with e-levy, but that is our politics. Thank you, Eric Nutako, for your message. Hi, host. This one here says, hi, host. Does MPP want us to believe their inflation figures after discrediting figures from the statistic service in opposition? Indeed, Dr. Baumia lectured us that the true state of the economy is what people feel in their pockets when they go to the Malata market, and that the cooked inflationary figures don't reflect the reality of cost of living in the country. We were once told that if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you. This is the moment of truth for MPP in power. Pawili, University of Ghana, you sent this one. Thank you so much, Pawili, for your message. Hi, Pan African TV. If you want to know how these hoes, cutlasses, brooms, etc. go, just lay ambush at a school between 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. 1 month after reopening. Isaac sent this one. Okay. I want a journalist to investigate where the items students provide to the schools are used for. The schools are milking parents too much, considering the items are compulsory and students are denied admission if the items are not provided. A school that has a population of 2,000 plus, each student is forced to provide cutlass, whole broom, mop stick, basket, scrubbing, detergent, etc. All these items summed up to not less than 600 cedis. The most annoying aspect is that the items are not handed over to the students, but rather we're told the school puts these items in a pool, and anytime the students are to clean up the environment, the items given to them to use and return. This is a serious criminal enterprise being used by the schools that need to be stopped immediately. It's just too childish to even think a school has the space to keep hose, cutlasses, racks of students, population of 4,000 plus. Okay. Thank you very much for your message. Okay. Good morning, Bless. The MPP is not a party to follow because they are all confused people now. They don't even know the direction they should take Ghana to. Hey, people must look and think as humans. Thank you, Alhaji Said Kucho sent this one. Thank you, Alhaji, for your message. Good morning to you and your panel. Please tell... okay, I think this is a previous message. Okay. I'm Yaukisi from Tadi. It's alleged that by 2036, Ghanaian pensioners won't be given their pension pay simply because there's a huge mismanagement and corruption at the Senate being forwarded by the family and friends of this corrupt NPP. Indeed, NDC GM as alternative is a redeemable choice on 7th December. Regards to lawyer Fido, incoming MP for Takoradi constituency. Thank you so much. Now, let's look at this final story, which is very disturbing in my estimation, that would have... medications donated to us, and clearing them at the port becomes a Herculean task. So the minority in Parliament has issued a 24-hour ultimatum to the Kufuor government to ensure the remaining containers of medical commodities locked up at the Tema port are cleared. The Ministry of Health received 14 out of the 182 containers, 14 out of 182 containers for antiretroviral tuberculosis and malaria treatment donated by the Global Fund after a public backlash 2 months ago. The drugs were stuck at the port for almost a year due to the government's inability to settle third-party fees. But we have money. Over the last year, we've had money to sink into the National Cathedral. Interesting. Addressing journalists in Accra on Wednesday, June 12, the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Mensah Kando, said the government's delay in clearing the remaining containers demonstrates unprecedented irresponsibility. We are calling on the president and his vice. Ghanaians are suffering and these medications are running out of stock. The Ghana Medical Association has said that very soon we'll run out of stock in most of these medications. Therefore, Mr. President, at least the right to health care is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution, and you should not continue to disgrace Ghana like you continue to do. So we expect that within the next 24 hours, we must hear something positive with regards to the clearing of containers with the drugs at the ports, he stated. Honorable Yunusa. Misplaced priorities.
This has been a recurring issue. About 6 months ago, and talking about 6 months ago, these are medical equipment, including drugs. They have expiry dates. They were given to us by Global Fund. The drugs are needed. The drugs are given to Ghana on need basis. So because we need them, that's why they gave it to us. So what at all is preventing government from clearing, paying the third-party fees and clearing the containers for use in the hospitals? You see, Ghana is a very sad case. When you have a leadership that does not prioritize the people, but prioritizes its own self over the people, how do they secure their comfort? How do they make sure that they and their families and their children's children will live in comfort and die in comfort? That when they die, tombs will be built, 3-bedroom flats will be built on their graves, so that future generations, when they are excavating the land, will know that there was a Ghanaian civilization that built three bedrooms for dead bodies. The Hammurabis. Or like it happened in Latin America now.
Latin America, exactly, yeah.
What is it? What is it? Because the building will sink, will go, have 1,000 years to come, 2,000 years to come. They will not be that building. It will go, it will sink. And so when the archaeologists excavate, they will know that, oh, there was a civilization that did that. Or what? I don't know. I don't know. We invest in those things and leave the critical issues. But I beg government, this is the raining season. Farmers are going to go to the farms. Reptiles are going to be on the farms. If the donation, medical global funds donation includes some drugs for reptile bites, like snake bites, this is the time that they need to clear and send them to the various farming areas. The AIDS pandemic, we're managing it as a country, as a people. The world is continuing to manage it. Because we have not yet found a very effective cure for AIDS. So antiretroviral drugs are very important in managing it. So if people go to hospital and cannot get a full complement, and those drugs are sitting at the harbor, to what benefit? This exposes us to a lot of embarrassment. That as a country, even when things are donated to us, we can't clear. We can't clear. So the government must sit up. We paid a lot of money to a Qatari prince for vaccine, COVID vaccines, up and higher and above the market going price for those vaccines. We are still struggling to recover those monies. This global fund gave us money, and we were to apply it to COVID drugs. We never even expended them on all the money. We really have a problem. We are becoming an embarrassment, a global embarrassment of a country ruled by leaders who cannot put their act together, who do not know how to prioritize. And the earlier we stopped it, the better. Fortunately, this government is in its dying embers. Everybody is complaining. In fact, the other day I listened to the vice president say that the hardship is everywhere. And I said, oh, Mr. President, that's an indictment on you. Actually, it's because of the hardships being everywhere. That's why there have been changes of government everywhere. You understand? Because there are changes of government. Because people do not, I mean, you don't, as a Muslim, let me tell you, we believe that God did not create us to put us into hardship, but to bring us ease. So if you are a leader and you are exercising the powers of the delegated authority of God over men, and you can't bring us ease, and you are bringing us hardship, we have an inalienable right to remove you. We vote you out. And so, to have admitted that there is hardship in Ghana, but the hardship is not only limited to Ghana, but everywhere, including Canada, where it just came from 2 weeks ago. That's absurdity. I mean, how do you even stand on a local platform and you are justifying the hardship locally based on what is happening in other countries? Again, that is the kind of leaders that we have. Instead of sympathizing and empathizing with the people and telling the people what you are doing to bring them ease, you are justifying the hardship on the basis of what is happening globally. Hey, we really have a problem. We really have a problem. And until we begin to put, you see, the whole problem of Ghana is a problem of leadership. Committed leadership, conviction, leadership of conviction, a leadership of accountability, transparent leadership. These are the type of leaders that when if you have a leader with these qualities, you definitely are going to get the country elsewhere. Because if you have an accountable leader, he will know that he is pretending over the resources of the country and that those resources do not belong to him. When we elect a leader, we don't make him a monarch. So that you will decide that a covenant with God, your covenant with God, should be met by the public resources of the country. Then there's no accountability. You have a personal covenant with God. And then you decide that you're going to fulfill that covenant with God without resources. No, leaders don't behave that way. That's why there must be a change. And change is coming.
Thank you. So finally, let me come to you, Mr. Asante.
The issue of the drugs. I just don't know how to describe it. Because this is unacceptable. It gave me a similar sentiment. I was observing something in Liberia when they had the independence. Oh, sorry, when the Bukai won the election recently.
Bukai,
yeah, when he won the election. And then the Korean government presented about 30 SUVs to the government. And where the presentation was done, okay, I realized that the road itself were not tarred. Okay? The presentation of the 30 vehicles was done to the government and incoming government, and the roads to that sector, the driveway to it were not even tarred. So I ask myself, do we prioritize our needs? Somebody may argue that it's a gift. What can you do? You need to take it. But you see, if you prioritize Elijah, you want to give me an offer. You want to dash me a very let's say gold nugget. Okay? I said, okay, my kids are going to school. Can you please reconvert it and let me pay my kids' fees? That's a priority.
Or do you permit me to sell it?
Yeah.
Because me putting gold nugget,
I can't wear it and be dangling over your
absolutely. And my children are in school and I can pay their fees. Similar sentiment we have here. We need the items, okay? And through the benevolence of an association, we're getting them. You can take them, then I'm afraid we have a problem, a big problem. You see, so I don't know how the setup. Well, probably I've not been in government before, like you have been in government before, so you know what goes into these nitty-gritties. Other than that, no rational character would appreciate and understand. It vividly gives me an instance. My in-law was in Japan in the 90s, okay? Then he sent me, a fridge. You know, Japanese have the different, they use the 110.
Yes.
So when the ship landed, it was brought to me in the house, okay? And then the guy told me I need to get a step down. Step down.
Yeah.
Then I called my in-law. Charlie, he said we need a step down. I said, wow, I thought you were rational. He said he thought I was rational. I said, well, he said, I have to buy the fridge from Japan, ship it to you, pay a fee, and then just plug it. You can plug it. You expect me to go and buy this? What do you call it? Step down for you again. So where last year I thought he was insulting, but he was real. He did this all for me for free. We have been giving these drugs. Okay, be it whatever it is. Just go and pull it out. The government of the day says no, they can't do it. These are things that have expired. They will easily expire, and they become more of a liability than an asset to the society. Because look, we are in a country where people or druggists are able to change labels of expiry products. Is that in this country? They change without caring about the well-being of the masses. I'm telling you, they do. They change labels when it's expiring. Easily, this is just take tax, they just remove them and place a new one in that overnight, and then they are still on the counter. Similarly, why should any rational government or any rational leader allow these things to be there? But what can we do? Some people will be asking me, Asante, you said we should. What can we do? I said we can do something. What can we do? The anger of the masses. Take this from today. The anger of the masses. Fear no barrel of the gun. Somebody may ask me, what do I mean? What I mean is that if people are determined, okay, say this is what we are doing. Look, come what may. The Arab Spring was a typical example to us. Okay? Norwega, Nicaragua, the anger of the masses. Recently, Sri Lanka, what did it happen?
Yeah.
What did
the Prime Minister out of
that's what we have to do. There must be a radical demonstration. I was just from Tamale on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I went to the market. Yam, the cost of yam in Tamale, as compared to hitherto. Tomatoes you can't even buy. I said, is that Tamale? So what kind of leadership do we have? As somebody rightly pointed out. If ordinary food, look, people are suffering, people are hungry. I'm telling you what we've got into. If we don't get food to eat, it will lead to ailment. Ailment will lead to hospitalization, and these drugs that are to support you, where are they? So frankly speaking, I will urge all Ghanaians. Now look, it's about time. I don't look at only to political parties to organize demonstrations. Social, how do you call them? Organizations. There must be that radical revolution. That is what is radical, not in terms of spoilage, but in terms of expressing our grievances to the government of the day. Let us park to wherever they are. Let's tell them, let them kill us. I think that is the only solution. I'm not calling for any anarchy. I'm not calling for chaos, but I'm calling for a decent demonstration to drum home to the leadership that people are going through hell. I don't know whether in the morning, Elijah, how many people call your phones. Every morning they are looking for cocoa money. We are in a country where the ordinary food, cocoa and kose, people cannot buy. It has become
the problem is that even if sometimes they call you feel their pain, but you are incapacitated.
You are.
Feel it. You feel that you ought to do something.
But you are. Yourself, you are in a difficult situation. So why are we looking unconcerned for these things? Somebody will tell you that tomorrow the son of the sector minister will come and call your son that your father was a lazy man. You see, but these are the problems. Just ordinary drugs that will hit. Go and see people in the hinterlands. And when we are campaigning, a very good friend told me, one day, you guys, when you come here, we shall chase you out with sticks. Because they are sick and tired. And if we don't take care, if we go on campaign trail, one day they will kick us out.
No, the people are saying that, and that is the phenomenon that is developing. So they are sick, they can't get drugs. They know that you come to them to campaign, and they vote you to power. When the Global Fund gives drugs, you can't even clear them for them. So when you go to campaign to them, they say, what have you brought for us? Yes. They want to take it now.
Yes.
They no longer have confidence and trust in the system.
Not at all. It's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. I have never, throughout my life, I have never seen, let me be frank with you, let me be very blunt. I've seen governments. Myself and Alaji probably have seen governments. Yeah. I've never seen a government that is so like a destiny that is this current administration. Yeah. Therefore, take it or leave it. I'm being serious. This government should be expunged from the history of this country. Believe you me, because if we have to write our history from independence, this is the worst ever in the annals of this country's history. I'm finding reality.
The government has taken us to bankruptcy.
What are we waiting for?
Right. Thank you so much. Good morning, Bless, and thank you for your kind words. Please extend my regards to your guests as well. The Free Senior School initiative is indeed a commendable idea. The NDC and John Dramani Mahama fully supported because it holds the destinies of many youths who benefit from free education. They are committed to significantly improving and enhancing the initiative to make it more attractive and competitive. John Dramani Mahama even stated his intention to prioritize it and bring a substantial facelift to the education sector. Seydou John Paul, Tamale Sanarigo Municipal Assembly, Tamale North Constituency. Thank you, Seydou John Paul. Good morning, Pan-African TV. I think that the introduction of road tolls that the current Minister of Roads and Highways intends to do should be accompanied by prosecution of the former Roads Minister for causing financial loss to the state. We can easily calculate the amount of money that Ghana has lost due to that unwise decision by the minister to abolish the road tolls. He should have known that a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. Thanks, Uncle Gabi from Wamfie. Thank you, Uncle Gabi. Thank you so much for your message. Hi, good morning. This is a very great show. God bless you. Greetings to Mr. Asante. Tell him it's been a long time. I haven't seen him since 1995. Francis Afuakwa Boateng. Right. Okay. This one here says, blessed, your new panelist is as hot as Dr. Marzouk. This is Eben from Progressive Forces. Thank you, Eben. I hope you are doing well. Right. This one here says, hi, blessed. Does it make sense to cancel a good revenue source like the road toll due to an expected but unpopular tax handle such as e-levy, which is not guaranteed or acceptable to the masses? This sounds like a tale of the unwise villager who pours away the water in his tank because the weather was cloudy. It's sad to have a group of people who claim to be the best brains but cannot manage a simple road toll, Dumsor timetable, voters registration, power plants, state lands and hotels, get fund, free SHS scholarship, pension funds, and galamsey. I hope AG will do his duty to prosecute NPP ministers who cause financial loss to the state through the abolition of the road tolls. God save Ghana from this regime of white elephants. Pa Willie from the University of Ghana sent this one. Thank you, Pa Willie. David Noble says, good morning, blessed Pan-Africa TV and panelists. In fact, Mr. Arnold deserves my blessings. He's just a man who associated himself with people who are politically clothed and was championing a cause to make the previous government unpopular at his blind side. He shouldn't be taken aback that those voices have lost talking about AFAG. Okay, thank you so much for your message. Edward says this MPP government just doesn't have any idea about governance. They are only doing propaganda and have nothing to offer. George Mensah says, good morning, blessed. Greetings to you and your panelists. In fact, this government is so confused and very clueless. Why are they bringing the road tolls back? My question is, if the road toll is reintroduced, will they cancel the e-levy? Thank you. Musa Abatua says the roads minister's statement about reintroducing road tolls, despite being part of the government that cancelled it, reeks of hypocrisy and poor planning. This flip-flop approach underscores the administration's lack of coherent policy direction. In contrast, former President Mohammed's commitment to bringing back toll booths if he wins power in 2024 reflects a consistent and pragmatic approach to infrastructure funding, highlighting the current administration's failure to address issues in the road sector. Elder Roxton Anyimedu, good morning, bless, and your panelists. The most confused people in the world is Nanado and his ministers. They would say something today, tomorrow will be another. The VP is now a sexy dancer. You hear a party PC inciting members to fight security men, and then you hear a minister, Mr. Brani Champon, spewing holy promise not to hand over power to the NDC even if they lose power. Confusion galore. NPP never again. Finally, Comensa Pillar 2 says MPP never made a mistake at all electing Dr. Bawumia as presidential candidate after breaking the 8. It is possible. Special greetings to lawyer Michael Quay Jr. aka Gabo PC for Domi Kwabinya by Comensa Pillar 2. Okay, thank you so much for your messages. This is where we draw curtains on today's edition of Good Morning Africa, the Thursday edition. Unfortunately, Mr. Prats, they couldn't join us for some reasons, but of course, we've had a very insightful conversation here on the show. Thank you so much, Honorable Inusa Hussein. It's been a pleasure. And to you, Mr. Henry Asante, I'm hoping that this won't be the last time we are seeing or having you on the show. And to our cherished viewers across the world, thank you so much for always making time for us. Do have a pleasant morning. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Stay refreshed with Malt. Prepare for hydration.